How are you?
Hi, Purvi. Can you hear me?
Audible?
You are, but थोड़ा रुक रुक के आया. Am I audible? I mean, your voice is not reaching me.
Okay, is it better now?
हाँ, ये सही है.
Okay, cool. So, hi, how have you been?
All good. You tell. Let's be weird. Insta live. Do we wait for people or do we? How do we do this?
I think we can start. Sufficient people have joined. It's about 200. Or then anyway, the recording will be uploaded. So,
Did you like practice or research how to do Insta live for the past week?
I
Because
actually did because this is the first time I'm doing a joint live.
um, exactly
So see,
same.
my research worked. Okay.
Yeah,
Clear,
वही तो अभी
clear.
तक तो सही चल रहा है. अभी तक तो सही चल रहा है. Anything goes wrong, I don't know what to do. But it's all on you, just saying. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
So nice to see you.
same.
How's Gurgaon treating you?
It's
You're in
treating
Gurgaon, right?
me nice. Yeah. I'm currently undergoing special foundation course. It's in HIPAA Gurgaon. So all good. So where are you right now? Seychelles?
Seychelles. Where else can I be? Stuck on an island.
I guess that's one of the best vacation places. It's quite offbeat. So
पर वही paradox है ना, like I'm working in a place where people holiday. So where do I go for holiday?
that's there. We are never satisfied with what we have, it seems.
Yeah. नहीं ऐसा तो not exactly, but yeah,
Hmm.
there are only two tragedies in life. One is what you get, what you want, you get, and the other is to not get it. तो
True that.
पहले से quote करना शुरू कर दिया मैंने. Sorry.
Okay, so I guess we can start with the conversation.
ठीक है.
Have you
हाँ.
thought of
Firstly,
any topic?
congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
My sister received it, I think, last week. I'm not at home, so when I go back, I'll definitely flip through the pages and
Yeah,
तब
I'm
मैं
very
officially कुछ response भेज
thank-
पाऊंगा. Yeah.
waiting for that.
How has it been वैसे? Like the process of like gifting it to people and presenting it to. I saw S.Y. Qureshi sir ka post. I was like, that would have been a starstruck moment or something.
Yeah. So the best part is I'm at SFC, right? So
Yeah.
वहाँ पे the guest faculty is all these
Yeah.
people, so it makes it easier for meet them and then give them a copy.
Yeah.
All of them are receiving it in a very good spirit. Like everyone is like
Yeah.
one who's focusing on the process and not the.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are appreciating it. बाकी तो अब वो book पढ़ेंगे तभी पता पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
Some of them are now my
Right.
WhatsApp buddies. So
Alright.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's an honor to be part of it, like to contribute towards your work. And अभी मैं कल ही पढ़ रहा था, पता है, क्योंकि आज लाइव है तो मुझे लगा अपना पढ़ तो लूं जो मैंने लिखा है बुक में. पता नहीं क्या लिखा होगा, but just to see if I still believe in what I wrote, but I think more or less I do, so that's fine.
So for the
Yeah.
uninitiated, you wrote a chapter titled From Underground to Unbound. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you still believe in it? Whatever you
I
wrote?
do, because I think it just it's like a document of history, right? What I went through, like in 2 years before and after prep. It's like epilogue of prep and prologue of the service, being like an officer वगैरह. So that what I felt in exactly that period of time, I think I'll still find it relatable because it's been documented as a piece of history or for my personal history.
So
So
it's
yeah,
been
it's
almost
been,
5 years, no? Like 2018 wala exam
yeah.
you wrote.
Yeah, but that's what I cover, right? हाँ, थोड़ा और भी I add Paris and the first posting as an IFS officer or वो सब. Yeah, but most of like the chunk, 70-80% of the chunk is very immediately before and after. So, which actually is your book also deals
Yeah.
with behind the scenes and being on the scene. So That
No, I
I
was
think
talking
that's.
to a senior officer and I
Yeah.
told them the gist of the book, and they were like, "Oh, so finally a book which, focuses on the grind of the process, not the glamour of the result."
Hmm.
हाँ
Hmm.
मैम वही था, मुझे नहीं पता था पर यही था. Finally, I was summoned
Hmm.
for the book,
Yeah.
the grind of the
Yeah.
process and not the glamour of the result.
Absolutely.
So, thanks to that officer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of the process, Vikram, I guess it's been almost 5 years now since you were in preparation phase.
Huh. 5 years.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, do you agree with me when I say that preparation phase takes up almost, uh, I won't say almost, but a very significant portion of our golden age?
Uh, as in, yeah, it's also an exam which demands so much from you
Hmm.
physically, mentally, and it's like the prime of your youth. Obviously, you're putting it into everything into something that. एक तो I think it's a recent phenomena to put a lot of pressure between the age of 20 to 30. वो जो सक्सेस का there's a trope कि कुछ किया है लाइफ में तो बस इस एज में कर लिया बाकी तो
Uh,
आपकी जिंदगी और कुछ है नहीं. तो maybe that also puts a lot of pressure on that particular age group. But I think uh, it's like it's a cyclical thing now. It's when you realize you're out of. I mean, I'm not out of that age group, but when I meet people older, they are also the worries and the pressure, the stress never seems to end. There is one checkpoint and then the next goal. People just start creating their own goals after that. So I think uh, जो ये यूपीएससी से प्रेप से निकलते हैं उनके लिए लाइफ भी थोड़ा अप्रोच वैसा हो जाता है कि अरे प्रेप फेज का थोड़ा वेस्टेजेस छूट जाता है मुझे लगता है in your perspective to life. So everything is like so
hmm.
yeah, with the same approach that you have certain objectives, you have certain goals all the time. So it looks like a disorder of sorts, but
Hmm.
yeah,
And this is a
that's
phase I
it's
remember, even after a long tenure of service.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
something
it's
which
like
no one.
PTSD.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, how does this phase influence the later life? Whether, irrespective of the result, whether you make it or not,
Mm.
how does it influence you, your life, your personality?
So, what I honestly believe is when I was preparing till like 2019, maybe interview ke baad, maybe till the result,
Mhm.
when I stopped studying, I was at the peak of my knowledge and wisdom and whatever studies or academic books had to offer me. And after that, I genuinely believed that it'll all go downhill, like in terms of hard work, in terms of knowledge gaining and stuff. But when you look back, you realize that, whoa, I was that me who did all of that? Just like, I mean, 11th 12th में जो calculus करता है, differentiation और integration, जो बाद में
Or
पढ़ के देखता है भाई, you can't believe you were the same person who was doing all that maths, and now I can't even understand questions from basic like 10th 9th math ka, even geometry trigonometry kuch nahi. And you start then you think that it's all maybe perhaps the way your life takes or the routine or the practice that you regularly have. Like right now, my training is just being, it's around diplomacy and day-to-day diplomacy and bilateral relations, multilateral. ये सब मैं पहले अब maybe afterwards after this posting when I look back to my Seychelles posting, I would be like, oh, I was handling those projects. I can't believe that I was doing that. So yeah, I think with UPSC also this happens with me personally. Yeah.
see, with most of the aspirants, no, like their motivation is the result, and everyone
Yeah.
has this thing in mind
Yeah.
कि लपटना जाएंगे, वहाँ
Yeah.
पे friends बनाएंगे, then social media account will grow and everything, So वो labas
Hmm.
like a symbol of success for many people, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
like I feel that for initial few attempts, it makes
Yeah.
sense. है ना? जैसे for my attempts, I was completely motivated by the result. So
Yeah.
preparation time पे when every other day I wanted to quit. जब initial period
Hmm.
जब था कि this is so rigorous, you have to say
Hmm.
no to so many people, दोस्त छूट रहे
Hmm.
हैं. तब बस एक चीज
Hmm.
याद रहती result. ठीक
Yeah.
है. So that with my first attempt. उसमें
Yeah.
यूं था कि जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं तब तक छोड़ेंगे नहीं
Hmm.
और everything, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
first attempt का जब result आया, I
Hmm.
got a rank of 244, which was definitely not my expectation.
Hmm.
ठीक. तो उसके बाद I don't know what happened. Prelims was just 10 days away from that result. ठीक है, जैसे तैसे I took the prelims. And while
Hmm.
preparing, I felt कि यार what's the point? मतलब
Hmm.
इतनी मेहनत करने के बाद भी रिजल्ट नहीं आया, तो अब कैसे
Hmm.
3 महीने बचे हैं मेंस को. आई वाज
Hmm.
एंड इन दैट मोमेंट आई फेल्ट कि मोटिवेशन ही नहीं रहा. जिस रिजल्ट
Hmm.
से मैं motivate- वो अब इट वाजंट मोटिवेटिंग इनफ एंड
Hmm.
sabotage that attempt because of this reason, because I was not
Hmm.
motivated. So
Yeah.
it is possible, जैसे काफी लोग ये बातें करते हैं कि live in the now, focus
Do
on the
you
present.
think it's like a human tendency to just simplify things? Because the result is the simplest thing that you can make of this journey, right? Even your relatives, your parents, your friends, you yourself, just to see कि अब पहाड़ चढ़ने वाला पूरा जर्नी तो आप नहीं, it's very complex to keep that in mind always, right? So it's like the result is maybe perhaps just a simplification of what of the complex mess that you're already in, to just give it a direction and somehow simplify and trivialize it and make it and like morph it into a tangible goal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think like it's a human tendency rather than, I mean, I might be overthinking,
No,
but
no, I completely agree with it. But what if, you reach a stage where you stop getting motivated by the result?
yeah.
तब क्या?
Because you see the farce in that simplification, right? Like
Yeah,
ये नहीं है जिसके लिए.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, नहीं, नहीं. There
Yeah.
are many external factors. तब आपकी मेहनत is not the only thing.
Yeah.
So many things are working
Yeah.
against you,
Yeah.
can affect.
मेहनत तो I think मेहनत comes so much later.
I
Just having the privilege of studying, eating, sleeping, studying again the entire day is just, we don't realize that we start from a very privileged position sometimes. Hard work is like just putting, like I write in the chapter which I got reminded yesterday also while reading through it, कि you are just scoring the goal, you're just the striker, but the people that your goalie, the defender, the midfielder who are passing you the ball, the hard work is just from your end, it's just the kick to the goal, right? But the people who are behind you and the situation, circumstances, privilege that you enjoy, all those yards behind you, you can't ignore that.
Hmm. And I feel that one thing which is common between the both of us, ki we both went underground. In fact, your blog motivated me to quit using my phone,
Mm,
and I can't for that.
no, it's yeah. I'm glad to hear that, but I had to just do it because I'm the least competitive person I know. Like, even my father tried really hard to make me a very competitive sports person throughout my school life. But अगर मैं कोई game खेलता हूँ, like, even I have interest in sports, but I have no interest in winning somehow. Whenever I play, I was like, I only play for the fun. So realizing the competition of this exam, it made me really scared to have my friends as my competitors, which becomes a reality for this exam especially. So just to cut off from everyone, I mean, it affected me in different ways, but this is something I had to do, maybe,
Mm.
to just know that maybe that I am the only one running the race. There is no one else here. So that provided me with a different kind of mental and emotional safety. So
Yeah,
it's
I guess.
just a defense
But
mechanism, I think.
I felt so initially when I was trying to reduce my phone usage, I felt that
Mhm.
I'm losing. So it was right after after college,
Mm.
and people were days, they were going on vacations and whatnot. But at that time, not people are doing it with, induced a very major FOMO. And I felt that if
Mm.
I'm updated with this, I'll lose them. So, it took me a good stop using the phone. But when I stopped using it, I actually took a vow that I will not use my phone unless the time is right. What was
Yeah.
the right time? I didn't. But, I feel कि यूज करना बंद कर दिया तब since I didn't know कि क्या हो रहा है, तो वो जो
A lot
फोमो,
of white noise. That white noise disappeared.
हाँ मतलब वो फोमो धीरे धीरे, इनफैक्ट माय सोशल इम्यूनिटी इट टुक अ हिट. उसके बाद मैं किसी से भी ना, सो मुझे 2 दिन तक वो घूमता रहता था सर में.
Yeah.
तो इट सो डिस्ट्रैक्टिंग. तो धीरे धीरे वो अपने आप ही, लाइक यू हैव मेंशन इन योर चैप्टर, इनटू अ रैबिट होल. सो आई गेस दैट वाज.
Yeah.
एंड what made it easier was again the team,
Yeah.
जो हमारे साथ ज्यादा ही मेहनत कर रहे थे, our family.
Absolutely.
So
They sacrificed their own social life
I
to let you study.
know, I remember my mother, वो नानी के यहाँ नहीं गई 3 साल कि बेटे की पढ़ाई है, मैं नहीं जाऊंगी. And then
Yeah.
this year COVID happened.
Mm.
कुछ पहले
Mm.
से लॉकडाउन लगाया था वो, फिर जनता कर्फ्यू हो गया.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
but still,
अरे ये तो इवन लाइक आफ्टर माय रिजल्ट दो वही जो मैं लिखा हुई है कि 2 साल प्रेप के बाद फिर 2 साल लॉकडाउन लग गया. तो वो कभी अभी तक मैं कई लोगों से मिल ही नहीं पाया हूँ वापस, मेरे पुराने दोस्तों से और कुछ रिलेटिव से जो इंडिया में है, लाइक गेटिंग पोस्टेड अब्रॉड, देन कोविड, देन गेटिंग पोस्टेड टू सेशल्स, और छुट्टी जो मिलती है in that limited time, it's not possible to actually meet everyone. So there are so many people I haven't met for like 5-6 years now. And then it gives me a different kind of anxiety to how to just start things from, like how to resume those ties.
it happens. And चलो, for you it's understandable कि आप दूसरी country में हो. मैं
Yeah.
now I'm posted in NCR and still able to meet my friends who are in NCR. या तो work
Yeah.
commitment है, या ये special foundation course आ गया, ये है. I'm still not able. April I'm posted here. I don't. I think I've become very.
Yeah.
It was not.
I mean, this exam is like half, very like in a very metaphorical way, it's like selling your soul somehow, a part of it. And then you're trying to, when you try to reinvigorate or reconnect or like find that again, it only comes back in like pieces, not the whole thing, which you, because then even others have this image of you in a different way, like pre-exam and post-exam. Even my own relatives, and the way they see me is like he has a halo around his head or something. कि ये तो कुछ अच्छा ही कर रहा है. And I'm the same guy who, with all the flaws and all these naive things and perceptions that I had, I mean, there is some amount of knowledge that I gained and a perspective through this exam, but inherently, I am that only. Now, suddenly, if I clear this exam, I don't become like a superhuman or something.
So, Abhi, recently what happened? Some distant relative asked my mother-in-law कि आप अपने बहू से काम करवाते हो क्या? मम्मी, मैं मतलब सर है वो काम करती है क्या घर के? एंड माय मदर वो शॉक कि भाई वो घर पे है, वो हमारी बेटी है, ठीक है, ऑफिसर बाहर है, जैसे पूरा परिवार रहता है वैसे हम रहते हैं. People have a tendency to look you in a different light. But again, coming back to this fact कि preparation actually changes you, and some changes you don't even want to happen, जैसे कि ये.
Yeah.
And वही जो you were saying ना, a part of your soul you trade it off.
You do. Yeah.
So
they take
okay,
it
so coming
out of you.
coming back to again the most abstract question of the evening, do you feel कि results के अलावा भी there is a way कि हम लोग preparation में motivated रहें. Do you
हाँ,
feel that?
absolutely. ये बड़ा motivation is a capitalistic scam. Motivation is a scam.
Is it?
If I mean, bigger than motivation, even across history, boredom has been like a bigger power, even in terms of scientific growth or human civilization का जितना भी. It's like motivation is something very ephemeral. You can't bank on it or depend on it all the time. Here, for me, the ultimate result wasn't the motivation. More motivated I felt was just eating good food and sleeping well. That was like कि कल मैं सुबह उठूंगा और ये मैं चैप्टर पूरा कर लूं और उसके बाद मुझे मिलेगा आलू का पराठा. बस इतना मोटिवेशन काफी है वो चैप्टर अच्छे से पढ़ने के लिए. या things that you really like doing, right? You can put motivation milestones in your routine or something कि मैं इतना खत्म कर सकता हूं तो मैं ये वाली चॉकलेट अपने लिए खरीदूंगा और खाऊंगा. या ये अगर मैंने देख लिया तो फिर मैं पूरी एल्बम सुनूंगा जो न्यू में भी कोई आपके फेवरेट आर्टिस्ट की ईपी या कोई एल्बम आई हो नहीं तो 1 घंटा मैं सिर्फ वो गाने सुनूंगा. या मैं लंबे आज मैं ज्यादा जॉगिंग करूंगा. अगर आपको फिजिकल फिटनेस से इतना ऑब्सेशन है कि उससे यू फील गुड अबाउट इट, सो यू डू इट एंड देन यू रिवॉर्ड योरसेल्फ. I think that model is better than the conventional motivation ki something to push you from the starting line, right? Or if you can see the achievable, don't motivate yourself to step 10. Motivate yourself to only step 1 से 2, 2 से 3, 3 से 4. I think that's easier and sustainable.
हाँ, and I think that also reduces वो जो uncertainty का element होता है. ये result तो बहुत बाद में. अभी at least you know control your day है ना, and that Saturday जो end में जो मम्मी के हाथ का खाना मिलता है, especially you know after a very intense day. I remember my mom making Maggie for me whenever I felt burnt out. So is a sense of satisfaction जिस पे अगर focus करें.
सूखी मैगी या पानी वाली?
I can't explain. Not too soupy, not too dry, and butter.
हाँ, बटर और गार्लिक के साथ जो वो होता है ना मतलब पहले गार्लिक और बटर यूज करके और थोड़ा सा तड़के वाली मैगी is also insane, I think.
मम्मी के हाथ की.
We are deviating, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess yeah, I think it's pretty well summed up. So मैं क्या करती थी, like I had this calendar, don't break the chain, ठीक है? I got it.
Yeah.
हाँ, तो वो साइनफेल्ड ने किसी इंटरव्यू में बोला था कि you know make a paste a calendar on your wall and fix सभी targets को, just mark that day and you just need to focus है target achievement.
Consistency.
That helped me maintain that consistency, that helped me maintain वो एक होता ना, you shield yourself from the uncertainty.
Yeah.
So I think that
you just tell yourself that अभी वो है ही नहीं, वो दिख ही नहीं रहा है, वो जो end result है that does not exist yet. What exists is tomorrow, just your today, the time that it's left with you, and कल का जो आप कर सकते हो, and just one day at a time. If I mean that's how I would work, but to each their own. Yeah.
That GS4 का golden mean principle, not delving too much into the past and not focusing too much on the future.
Totally golden mean.
Yeah. तो चलो वापस से zooming in your preparation. Do you think there's something that you would do differently जो किया उससे?
I think unlearning a bit more the DU style of writing in my optional. I don't have any regrets or anything, obviously, because first attempt में मेरा clear. I am very lucky and very grateful. But I also realized there's a chink in the armor of UPSC when it comes to history. Like their perspective of history is so straight-jacketed, which any history graduate cannot wrap their heads around. Like, considering Harappan civilization with like plainly अगर आप history graduate हो और आप एक Indus Valley civilization पे आंसर लिख रहे हो, you'll give all the complexities, all the perspectives of academics that you've read. पर आप जब यूपीएससी का पेपर दे रहे हो तो आपको 250 वर्ड में आंसर लिखना है पूरा, तो आप लिख दोगे हड़प्पन civilization was gender neutral and was secular. अब ये इतनी बड़ी बड़ी स्टेटमेंट है कि the nuances cannot be encompassed in your answer, but you have to do something like that. तो मैंने क्या किया आंसर राइटिंग में in my optional, I stuck to DU because for me history isn't the way it's not the way it's written in UPSC. Even if I had scholars' names and their quotes, their opinions, their research, I quoted them. और वो आंसर्स अच्छे नहीं लगे होंगे एग्जामिनर को, क्योंकि उसमें डिटेल से ज्यादा तो मतलब प्रॉपर नाउन और लोगों के नाम है उसमें, हिस्टोरियंस के नाम आंसर से ज्यादा तो. बट आई वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ रेडी टू फेस द मार्क्स कट और समथिंग उस केस में कि आई विल हैव टू मे बी ऑफसेट इट विद अ डिफरेंट जीएस पेपर. पर इतना भी obviously you can't strategize because you don't know UPSC कैसे मार्किंग करेगा, किस ऑप्शनल की, किस में स्केल कर देगा, किस में बढ़ा देगा. So no point in worrying about that. But I stuck to the way I had studied history, which apparently it's not.
There is no good test series and law is so vast. ठीक है, तो 5 साल जो कॉलेज में पढ़ के आए हैं तो वो आंसर.
एक बंदे ने लिखा है अरे अरे आप छोड़ दो सर, आपने 2018 में एग्जाम दिया था. एकदम सही बोल रहा है. हम क्या ज्ञान दे रहे हैं फालतू में, पर ठीक है यार.
तो ठीक है, we'll end it in just this. I'll just finish this very quickly.
No, it's fine. Like, it's a flowing conversation. Whatever we would like to discuss, it's just. But I concur with that point as well.
I know. So yeah, law optional, right? तो वो law school में you write very differently. ठीक है, you quote जैसे you quote thinkers and historians.
Yeah.
Quote judges and case laws and everything. लेकिन मेंस को पसंद ही नहीं आया उनको. And is I scored less in my optional. मैंने कहा चलो दूसरे मेंस पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही, एटलीस्ट ऑप्शनल्स में नंबर ले आते हैं. ठीक है, पर अभी नहीं आए. I remember a revamp of my strategy with Vaishali madam. I think she no.
What?
Vaishali. She's your
like my batch. Yeah. So, Vaishali Singh.
Yeah. So I asked her. She's like कि यार पूर्वी ये strategy है, तो मैंने वैसा कर लिया, नंबर फिर भी नहीं आए. तो and for everyone, I think they'll be interested to know this. So I met UPSC member Mrs. Preeti Sudan. नंबर कैसे आते हैं, मतलब कैसे होता है, कैसे हो, अब तो बता दो. She is like कि UPSC में every member works on a need to know basis. उनको नहीं पता कि कौन पेपर सेट कर रहा है, ठीक है, उनको कौन चेक कर रहा है. सर को पता है. She said भाई ये भी मुझे नहीं पता है. So I mean I actually think कि UPSC का जो U है ना, that stands for uncertainty. So you never.
I mean it's logical. अगर आप 2075 नंबर का एक पेपर रख रहे हो तो वो कितने मार्क्स में तो उसकी डिस्क्रिपेंसीज हों, मतलब डिस्क्रिशन, डिस्क्रिपेंसी एंड अप टू देयर ओन whims and fancies, वो तो होगा ही. वो तो एग्जामिनर की खुद के बायसेस भी किसी लेवल पे होंगे. कोई 20 क्वेश्चन है एक पेपर में, और वो कितने सारे पेपर हैं मेंस में भी. तो काश पता होता.
किसी को नहीं पता. Let's just be happy in the fact कि know everything. We can only learn it.
The best you can do is like, the best way is your own. There is no set pattern or one ideal way of doing it.
And I guess that's actually a good thing. I mean, you can experiment, and in the process you get to know yourself, and then अगर आपका तुक्का लग in that list, You never know.
Yeah.
Work hard.
And then in Labasna you realize कि कैसे इन सब का कैसे हो गया, मेरा कैसे हो गया.
हाँ, मतलब there's no like
Yeah, you're always surprised that first you have this false consciousness of superiority and then you realize अरे ऐसे लोग भी तो हैं और आप भी हो, और फिर आप खुद को शीशे में भी देखते हो तो आपको लगेगा इतना तो maybe I don't deserve it, or I don't know what I did, but I am grateful and lucky and
I know. I like
whatever, right person at the right place or something.
yeah. I like my batchmates. They are so highly qualified. They are so smart. And then यार मेरा भी हो गया एक उस
मुझे
लेवल पे.
क्या लगता है, अरे एक I think you will also find it relatable. Just pick any classroom, okay, like any audience, and a speaker, a teacher slash a speaker, a guest speaker. जब भी कोई कुछ बोलता है और पहले जब टॉक खत्म हो जाती है तो हमेशा स्पीकर पूछता है एनी क्वेश्चंस, चाहे जितनी भी क्वालिफाइड ऑडियंस हो, कोई कुछ नहीं बोलता है उसमें, चाहे मतलब एलकेजी के बच्चे वहां बैठे हो या फिर 12th ग्रेड के या पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स, तो पहला मूव कभी पहले 2 मिनट का जो साइलेंस होगा ना, वो स्टैंडर्ड है मुझे लगता है हर जगह. तो इट्स लाइक द सेम काइंड. If you interact with someone individually, obviously you'll have a different and a better and more informed opinion of the person. But in a group, I think everyone, more than 2 people, जहाँ भी इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, I become suspicious about their presence at that time and space. So even that happens in Labasna, that happened in school. There is no, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि वो वहाँ कुछ और होता है, स्पेशल होता है, बहुत बुद्धिजीवी लोग होंगे, ऑब्वियसली हैं, ये तो है ही, पर जब ग्रुप में आते हैं पता नहीं सेम ही लगता है. वहां भी सो रहे होते हैं क्लास में भी सो रहे होते थे स्कूल में. तो आई थिंक नाउ गुड़गांव में भी हो रहा होगा ऐसा तुम्हारे एफसी में. हाँ, सो रहे होंगे.
सुबह मॉर्निंग पीटी होती है,
वो तो होगा यहाँ. उसके बाद बिठाओगे तो कोई ह्यूमन है भाई, वो तो है. और वो एग्जाम लोगे ना, वो मार्क्स ऐसे आ जाएंगे उनके. इट्स जस्ट द नैक ऑफ गिविंग एग्जाम्स. यू have a class, people would be sleeping, but if you hold the exam, they'll score really well.
I think that the preparation does that.
Maybe, I don't know. It's just the education system has sorted these exam crackers separately, and that is, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate or whatever. But it's the knack of giving exams. Yeah, even MCQ, even prelims, more than a test of knowledge. It's like वो knowledge से तो 40% पता चल जाएगा, लेकिन बाकी 20-30% जो आपके MCQ सही हो रहे हैं वो instinct पे सही हो. Like your habit of attempting questions. It's like quizzing. मैं स्कूल में बहुत क्विजिंग करता था, पर जब मैं कॉलेज गया, जम्मू से दिल्ली आया, तो दिल्ली का सर्किट जब मुझे लगा भाई क्या क्विजिंग कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, ये असली क्विजिंग होती है. एंड आई क्विट क्विजिंग आफ्टर दैट. आई वुड ओनली गो टू अटेंड क्विजेस जस्ट टू बी अमेज्ड बाय देयर नॉलेज. एंड देन आई रियलाइज्ड आई यूज्ड टू आस्क पीपल हाउ डू यू get through this, and they are like, there is only one way of being a better quizzer, like quiz more, that's all. Like even to clear the exam, that's why I was, my only way of clearing prelims and mains was कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा mocks दे दो, नंबर आते हैं सही है. Like the final day is about giving an exam. Give that exam every day, every week. It'll be normal. It'll be like a habit, like a muscle memory, which happens in case of people, I think.
Yeah, I guess jitna practice karte ho, your instincts, they get polished, and
yeah,
that's how you attempt it, because you can never predict the exam mein aayega kya. You can only do that much, you know. You can never crack it jitna kar sakte hain aur jitna hota hai. I think there's a lot of difference in that. Yeah.
Like,
so
accepting your infallibility, like you'll make mistakes and you're not perfect, and I mean, just to hide those imperfections, you attempt papers in a different way to your own strengths. That's, yeah, it's like hustling
hustling.
on the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we conclude this? हमने शायद दुनिया जहान की बातें कर ली हैं प्रिपरेशन के.
कमेंट्स पढ़ने हैं क्या? कमेंट्स के नहीं, कमेंट्स पढ़ो.
Okay.
या हम ये रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, ये अपलोड होगा
Yeah.
तुम्हारे फीड पे या कुछ? तुमने रिसर्च कर लिया वो कैसे होता है वो सब?
हाँ, ट्राई कर लेंगे.
ठीक है.
I hope
कभी
so.
हमने इतना किया और फिर उड़ जाए ये सब.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's fine, I think.
many people are asking about your posting.
अरे बहुत सही पोस्ट है. There's this. I'll compare Seychelles and Paris. It's very simple. In Paris, you always have FOMO, fear of missing out, because it is such a happening city and the prettiest city in the world that you always have to miss one thing to attend the other. ठीक है? तो हमेशा कुछ कुछ होता रहता है. And Seychelles, in Seychelles there is no FOMO because कभी कुछ नहीं हो रहा होता. तो but that makes you treasure all the little things that there are in this world. Like even here, sea breeze और land breeze का जो concept हम NCERT में पढ़ते थे 6th में, you must be feeling like it's a general natural phenomena. But once you experience it throughout the year here, you realize it's like a earth-shaking, life-changing natural phenomena that is happening. And even like basic like importance of the environment and stuff, which we usually take for granted, and in urban spaces we obviously cannot we don't cherish the importance of clean air, etc., pollution free environment. Here I think I've begun to realize how many minutes of my life I am extending by breathing this air here. And again, like I've never stayed in an island. I've always been a mountain person. I've never been a beach person. But after coming here, doing scuba and stuff and snorkeling and experiencing the island life, it's been like an unprecedented experience for me. So I miss Paris as a urban space, as a city, as a pretty city with such character. But here it's a completely different posting. So both of them I've been lucky to have lived here, not as a tourist, but actually as residents of these places, understanding the people, the government, the country, the geography of it. And हाँ तो सही है. आ जाओ घूमने. मुंबई से डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट है सेशल्स, जिसको भी आना है.
सुन अब तो आके एनओसी लेनी पड़ेगी, तो लेंगे, फिर एनओसी लेंगे, फिर आएंगे.
ये चक्कर है वैसे इंडिया में.
Yes. So yeah, you are the show stealer. I agree.
Show what stealer.
How often in a week did you not study?
I studied every day, I think, except maybe all those reward days. Maybe Sunday को अगर कोई movie देखना है, TV series देखना है. I studied and not studied every day, I think. Just 8 hours, 8 hours of study, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of everything else. So I watched movies, I watched series, even during prep, as reward and as maybe like minor mini motivation.
You know what I really liked about preparation strategy when I read your blogs, you simplified everything. मतलब you know, जैसे I panic a lot कि ये कैसे होगा, इतना syllabus है, कुछ आता नहीं है, ये वो, especially to dread economics. But जैसे ये जो 888 वाली चीज थी, I think I saw this Topper Talks. So
Yeah.
I was that keeping it simple is so important. You know? Yeah. That makes it easier for you know, like not just.
There is so much complexity in this exam already. Like इतना तो है ही पहले से ही, अगर आप और कॉम्प्लिकेट करोगे। और एंड में सिर्फ वही होता है, लाइक योर हैबिट, मसल मेमोरी और कॉन्फिडेंस विद योर इंस्टिंक्ट। नहीं आता, क्वेश्चन पढ़ा है, कभी देखा भी नहीं, पर मैं फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ लिख दूंगा। सेल मी दिस पेन वाला लेवल है एकदम मेंस में। आंसर्स में तो लाइक out of 20 questions, obviously 16 17 are part of your prep, you know about them, you'll write about them, but 2 to 3 questions are like out of nowhere, you have no idea what they are about, but still you will score like, क्योंकि एवरेज तो 5 to 6 marks out of 10 मिलता है उसमें। इवन द बेस्ट आंसर गेट्स लाइक 6 मे बी और 5.5 मे बी, तो आप उसमें भी 3 नंबर ले लोगे, 3 3.5 बिना बिना जाने कि क्या है क्या वो टॉपिक, फिर भी बिकॉज योर हैबिट, इट हैज बिकम योर हैबिट टू। और ये हैबिट बहुत डेंजरस है, क्योंकि सिलेक्शन के बाद बहुत ज्ञान देने देने की आदत पड़ जाती है, बहुत जल्दी इंडियन अंकल आंटी बन जाते हैं। तो जो एडवाइस देना, हर किसी को एडवाइस दे दो।
One of my nephews says कि आप बहुत ज्ञान देश हो गए हो।
And then people expect you to give advice for random things, and I feel very like suspicious, anxious, and scared to just tell people what they should do or should not do. मतलब should or should not, तो it's like a red line कि मुझे क्या पता। I mean I can only tell about my own case. Other than that, तुम्हें क्या करना चाहिए, तुम्हें ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, वो तो मतलब मेरे बस का नहीं है। बाकी तो बहुत लोग काफी ज्ञानी हैं।
To add a disclaimer कि भाई this is in my limited understanding.
Yeah.
बाकी आप देखिए।
And my limited understanding, it is too limited. So.
Yeah. So let's take one more question before we close. Somebody asked that, is it worth joining the service? Since you have more experience, I'd let you answer.
Yeah, you go first. It's the same question. Like, it's just a question, right? Not a question to me. Is it? It's a question to both of us.
Yeah, but I'd let you go first because मेरा अभी 2 साल भी नहीं हुआ है. So.
ठीक है. So basically, I mean, that is actually the most abstract question that has been asked, because worth it, though, my personal opinion, obviously, the way I presume this service to be and my goals, my aspirations from life, I am achieving them on a daily basis here. Like, it's not like bringing a sea change across systems and people of the world, but what my understanding, my little world or bubble that I live in, that we all live in, but we sometimes do not acknowledge that, is widening. Like, it has a horizon which keeps expanding every day. And I love the feeling of not being in control, because you're not living in your own country in this service. You keep learning every day. It's like you wake up and you have no guarantee कि आपको एक specific brand का बिस्किट specific दुकान से चाहिए, वो भी आप ले पाओगे या नहीं, क्या आपको, I mean, the understanding, the familiarity and the feeling of being in your home is very different. And staying abroad, learning, adapting, and making another country your home temporarily is like you're a different person in every posting. Feels like I was someone different in Paris, I feel. Even though like the core or the substructure remains the same, but superstructure is very enrichingly different and diverse, and the exposure that you get. Like, मैं यहाँ पे इंडियन ओशन रीजन स्ट्रैटेजी से लेकर प्याज और चावल भी छुड़वा रहा हूँ मतलब vendors के, तो it's like as a commercial representative I'm doing these essential things as well, and at the same time doing a grander thing on a macro level. So that exposure is very, very enlightening for me. I don't know, बाकी learning experience तो सब बोलते हैं कि you keep learning every day, वो तो life होता ही है, उसके बारे में वैसे तो वो जो भी है jargon वो होगा, पर yeah, it's a differently enabling, enlightening, and and definitely worth it for me personally.
And
So
I'm sure you're curating your own Tintin comic.
yeah, for sure. That was the original inspiration, and it keeps inspiring me even today. And my colleagues from other countries, they know about my obsession with Tintin, so they give me Tintins of different languages whenever they're leaving or as a farewell gift, and that is my own collection here. I keep collecting books of different languages from Greek or Latin. मतलब मैं पढ़ तो सकता नहीं हूँ, लेकिन I mean, आप English books भी खरीद रहे हो जो आप पढ़ते नहीं हो. Obviously, it's a recent disease, right? Where I mean, it's not a disease, but a tendency to buy books and not read them. So why not buy exotic, different language books which you anyways are not going to read? So you've already satisfied the objective of buying them.
So I guess, yeah, I mean, for me also, I feel that if your reason, like if you know why you want to join the service,
Yeah,
then joining the service is definitely worth it. The
yeah,
reason keeps evolving, no doubt, but you should know what you're doing, why you're doing it. Till the time that
exactly.
is there, you begin afresh. वो पूरा
Yeah,
एकदम scratch से so
yeah,
in order to make it all worth it, you need to know why you are joining it in the first place.
yeah.
So yeah,
And
so
every service, it's like it's a different set of principles, a different set of system that you gauge and you deal with on a daily basis. It's like scientists, right? जो quantum mechanics में principles काम में आते हैं, वो एस्ट्रोफिजिसिस्ट के लिए उस स्केल पे नहीं आ सकते क्योंकि वो और मैक्रो हो गया. लेकिन nonetheless, they are equally important, right?
true.
So it's like, yeah, and this, I mean, we are very far from resolving service prejudices, etc., and the obsession with certain services. I don't know when that'll go away, but I think we should. That complexity, I mean, वो result जो हम trivialize कर देते हैं कि IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS ही बनना है, वो जब complexity हम थोड़ी और gauge कर पाएंगे, समझने की कोशिश कर पाएंगे. And exactly just like you said, if you know the reason why you're joining, you might realize you're made for a different service. You cleared the exam, but you selected an option that everyone else was going with, and then you realize that you were made for some other service
That's very likely.
or no service at all.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we conclude it? Can you please conclude it for me?
So, guys, Purvi Nanda has written an amazing book called Behind the Scenes, and I have been a very small part of it, contributing a 2-pager, a 3-pager article or something,
Great.
and there is an army of UPSC toppers who've contributed towards this book, who I personally respect, and some of them are my batchmates, and they are great people. And before that, it's Purvi's own journey, which is, I mean, delineated in a very candid way, a frank way, not apart from all the cluttered jargon that we have around this exam. So get your copies now before I get mine when I come back to India. And all the best to you, Purvi. Thanks for letting me have my first Insta Live. Hope we post this so that I can maybe correct my mistakes and hum haw maybe less next time.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Um,
Vikram. And
pleasure.
I enjoyed, and definitely I saw very recurring comments that you are stealing the show. So I guess it's a success. It's a
I would,
success.
yeah. I hope it is. I hope everyone who's attended this live have a nudge in the brain to just look out for this book and perhaps delve into your journey and mini versions of other journeys that are attached to it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, all the best. Thank you so much.
You? All right. Bye.
Take care. Thank you for everyone who joined. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.